weather is very sticky. So I'm sleeping much more deeply than I do in Bangkok. Very heavy air, very humid, very sticky. I feel like even when I wake up and come out of my air-conditioned room, I feel like glue on my body. It's very, very icky, and it's all day. I could take a shower, and in 5 minutes, I'll feel again the same. It's the humidity. I think that's what's good, very good for the skin, but it's not. It's not comfortable. I haven't been in this for a long time. When I'm in Bangkok, I'm usually in aircon most of the time, or our condo's cool, even though we don't have the aircon on. It's not like this. We don't have the aircon on probably a majority of the time. We sleep with it, and it's not even that strong in my room. I have to use a fan because it's still the air conditioner where they have the unit is not very powerful. We might need to replace that with a stronger one. But I'll sit in my room probably majority 90% of the day without any aircon on, just the fan. And I'm sticky, I'm warm, but it's okay. I'm kind of used to it. The problem is you start smelling, and then it's really once you start having stronger body odor, it's hard to get rid of it. So I have been using stick deodorant, which I don't need in Bangkok because I don't smell. Here I can smell myself because of the sticky humidity and the constant sweating that I'm doing. But sitting in a room with my arms like this the whole time, I'm getting some BO. It's not terrible from what I can tell, but today's the first time I used the aircon. It feels like 100 degrees. It's at least 100 degrees here, and that doesn't include the humidity. But I'm used to it, but it's still not very comfortable. What are some other things that came up this last couple of days? So I've been driving around, and I wanted to get some things. I had an itch to look for, literally. I had an itch to look for, just get an idea on prices on vehicles. I know Da's going to be jonesing for a vehicle as soon as we get back. I know it's going to be the first thing she's asking for next to the gym. I don't know why we've got this truck that her family lends us, a perfect truck. But I know she's going to be. I keep asking her, well, what's the deal with the truck? Is it going to go when we come back? The reason it's here is so her sister can use it because she had a baby. She can't be driving around on a motorbike with a baby. So the parents gave her a truck that's been sitting here for more than a year. It's a great truck. I'm like, the longer I can delay getting a car, the better. But I wanted to have an idea of what kind of cars we were looking at. We'll probably get a mini SUV, so we have room to travel comfortably to the south and to the north if we want to, and drive around with people in the car here, and even carry our dogs. So I was looking at a BYD. So there was a BYD electric vehicle. It was called an Atto 2, I think. That was $16,000. Then there was an HEV. That was called the Sea Lion 5, I think. That was 20, just a little under $24,000. That's a hybrid. That was nice. That's probably the one I'd go for. You can do both gas and EV. Really nice. It's a BYD. I think they're from what I knew, they're very competitive to Tesla. They might not be as great as Tesla, but fully decked out, highly electronic. That's the only thing that scares me. It's a bit of a new type of car here probably globally, but in Laos, it might be harder to find people that can repair it. It's not compared to a diesel engine. So it's my only hesitation. But then I went and looked at a Toyota Cross Corolla. That is an SUV. It's a compact SUV. That almost 90% more expensive, $40,500. I was like, oh. But it's probably the only affordable Toyota. She wants a Toyota. She says she wants a Toyota. I thought she was okay with the BYD before, but I didn't know there was so much of a price difference. So we could buy almost two BYDs for the price of a Toyota Corolla. The thing with the Toyotas here is they keep their value. So it's almost like an investment, at least in this countries. They really keep their value. The other cars, they lose your value to like a car does in the US. But well-kept cars, especially Toyota in Asia, you don't, as long as you keep it in good condition, you don't have any major issues, you will get pretty good money back for it. So that's the only concern. That's the biggest selling point it is for me. Got a little audience now. The house was quiet. Now it's busy again. And but you know, I asked about the Fortuner. $70,000. No way. I asked about the Land Cruiser. No way. $300,000. I can't believe that. Toyota Land Cruiser. It's huge. It's enormous. I had a Fortuner before, but I think she paid about, it was used. I was going to ask about the Prado, but I didn't. But I assume the Prado is probably about $100,000. I think they did say that. Prado is $100,000. $300,000 for Land Cruiser, Toyota Land Cruiser. No way. But it's massive. We don't want anything like that. But I definitely want something a higher rise to step up in. I hate the cars in it. Cars where you have to step down into and then try to get out. The older I get, the harder that is, and no way. So it's probably going to be a Corolla or a BYD. I'm half tempted to go with the BYD for half the price and just see how long it can last. You know, but the Toyota will probably last a long time. So there's going to be that cost. The other thing I was looking at was some motorbikes. So my Honda is a 2001. It's a Honda XR 250. It's a 2001, so it's 24 years old, and it runs beautifully, absolutely beautifully. I spend less than $100 a year to change oil, maybe fix something small on it. I think earlier this year was the most I spent on it in a long time. I had to change the back tire because it was dry rotted from sitting there too long. Change the oil, change the headlight, and a couple other things. I think it was less than $100. Maybe $150 with the parts. So it cost me nothing. I just filled the tank, 2.5 liters, for $4.80. 2.5 liters. And that will last me 2-3 weeks, even if I drive all day. If I don't drive all day, that'll last me. I'll just top it up before I leave back for Bangkok, and then maybe another $1 or $2. But I mean, I remember when I was here before, when I was working here and using it every day back and forth to work, I think I paid maybe $10 a month for fuel. But I'm not going to get rid of it. The problem is, I'm getting older and I'm a little heavier. I plan to drop some weight when I leave, when we come back, going to go to the gym, but it's uncomfortable riding around. So I'm looking at maybe getting one of those really bigger mopeds. And I'm currently looking at the Yamaha X-Max. Huge seat, 300cc. I definitely want at least a 250cc. So this could be, but they don't have many of them here. People can't afford them, and they're definitely bigger. But I want a luxury moped if I get one, because this would be something that I could ride around on more comfortably and carry that as well too. Because this is not very comfortable to go too far. It's great to putz around in the city, do errands, but if we want to do anything together, it's better to have a bigger bike and stronger. And who knows? One day this does die. I don't know. But I'm not going to sell it because I won't get more than a couple $100 for it. I bought it in 2013, second week I was here. I think I paid about $3,500 for it. But I'm sure I couldn't even get a $500 for it. But there's no reason to sell it. So the Yamaha X-Max that I looked at was That's about $7,000. I can't believe it's that much. But it probably should last me a long time. So some other news about finances. The Microsoft. So the big companies are reporting. Last week was Google and someone else, and their earnings were great. Yesterday was Amazon and Microsoft, and great earnings. Amazon not so great. The earnings were good, but the forecast was not very good. But Microsoft just passed $4 trillion market cap. They're making history. Microsoft is just. I wish I had more stock in Microsoft. But I'm trying to be diversified. I don't want to be too heavy in any one thing. NVDA has also made a world record, $4.5 trillion market cap. That's pretty exciting to see. Both of these will hit $5 trillion, I think, within the next year. AI is not going anywhere. They just this week basically proved AI is not a thing. It's not just a short-term glitch, not a short-term capital expenditure thing. This thing is the biggest thing since the I think mechanical revolution, industrial revolution. Microsoft Satya Nutella, I can't remember his name. They said they committed to $90 billion capital expenditure in the next year. They increased it to $120 billion in the next year. Crazy stuff. I wish I would have a lower cost basis on these, but I don't. At least I have what I have. Stock market, all-time highs again. Yesterday just dipped. I'm not sure what the dip was. Amazon dropped a little bit, but usually July, August, and September there's some sell-off. September I think is one of the worst months of the year, so I'm holding a little bit of cash to just if there's a pullback, 5%, 10%, and I'm just gonna dump everything I have left, which isn't. It's only 2%, and I'm only 2% cash, but I'm just gonna put it in. The market's gonna explode, I think, in the later half of the year and next year. There's a lot of money on the sidelines, and there's a lot of other variables that are playing into that. So that's pretty exciting with that. So the biggest thing this week was, so I got my termination letter yesterday. Official, so it's official. The termination letter signaling. I wrote the letter. I know about it. I cut myself from the organization. I took the cut, so none of my finance staff needed to lose their jobs. And I'm ready to leave this particular job anyway, as you probably are aware. So it came, and 31st of December. So I officially have August, September, October, November, December, 5 months remaining. Assuming 1 month in holidays and leave. 4 months remaining. So this is the end of week 22, and it's a bittersweet because I feel like I'm still young. I've got a lot to do. The information, the experience I gained from this, the knowledge from this job alone would be really hard for me to think, wow, I'm not going to use this again. I have to just trust that God's has a plan for us when we come back. I really believe that. I believe He's not going to let this go to waste, my mind go to waste. In some capacity, I'm not looking to go full-time into another job like this stressful, but I would like to be doing something at some capacity, part-time, couple hours a month. Or if there's some kind of business that might open up for me to look into. I'm thinking of some ideas, but nothing that seems. People try to start businesses here and they fail miserably because most people don't have the flexible income for discretionary stuff. So you'd really have to find a niche for people who have extra income. So that's going to be one of the hard things to do. I don't want my wife to do a restaurant again. There's just no money in that, and it's brutal. You don't open a restaurant to make money, unless it's a very exceptional situation. And the kind of restaurant she would know to cook in, I mean, they don't make, I mean, you wouldn't even make $1 per meal. So it would have to be very exclusive type meals or something. So I'm praying to God to open something up for us. I've got 5 months left, and then I want to take a break anyway. I'm really looking forward to have some time off. But it's official, 5 months remaining. And I'm pretty excited to leave this particular job. Yeah, I think that was the big things that I had listed down here. Yeah, I'm trying to contact an engineer to come and look at the house. We want to do some renovations, so I'm expecting to spend some money on that. I definitely want to do the outside nicer. I mean, it's definitely, our place probably looks better than most of the compounds in a 5 mile square radius. I'm not kidding. And but it's not aesthetically pleasing to me. I want a nice compound. I want to come out and feel like I'm in something I really want to be and enjoy. The inside is okay. Oh, the other thing I'm looking at is getting a comfortable chair. We will be bringing back my sofa from Thailand, which is very, very comfortable. But I'm looking to get like a lazy boy and possibly a nice desk, because that's where I work. You know, I've got a nice work chair, office chair. I don't need that, but I want to. I like to sit and read. I like to sit and study, and I want a nice chair. And there's a lazy boy store that I went to try and see a couple times this week, and they're closed. And I found out they moved, and then I spent an hour driving around in circles trying to find where they moved to, because she sent me a terrible pinned map, one of those location pins. It was terrible, and I just couldn't find it, and the traffic is horrendous. So I decided to come home. Now we've been communicating on email, but the cost of this, import tax for stuff like this in Laos is outrageous. I just looked at the price difference between Thailand and here, and it's probably 40% markup, probably for the taxes. It's an actual lazy boy. I really would love the lazy boy. But the two things I'm afraid of is the humidity and the cats. The cats destroy everything, absolutely destroy everything. The sofa we have in here is shredded in the back and underneath. But we don't let the cats in as much anymore. They pretty much stay outside. And this chair would go into my office. And I would stay in my office, and the cats nobody would be allowed in it. But I think I might look at prices for nicer chairs in Thailand, and then maybe import that with the rest of my stuff, just throw it on the truck, because that should be imported free and paid by the organization to relocate me back here. So that's another thing I'm looking at that will have some be costly. I found some desks. It's hard to find really nice desks that I like. Big, wide, and deep, and solid. I did find a place yesterday or the other day. They very solid, but about $400 or $500 for the ones that I liked. Anywhere from $300 to $450. And I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, this is functional. Do I really need a nice desk? I'd rather have something nice to sit in. I'd rather have a nice monitor, and I'd rather have a nice comfortable chair. Do I really need a big heavy desk like that when it's sufficient, functional? I don't know. This is the stuff, sometimes when I've spent money on things like that, I'm like, why? This was good enough. This chair is good enough. if it's comfortable. It has to be comfortable. But my office will be where I am. I'll be living like majority of the time because spend my day in front of a computer, so I might as well be comfortable. I don't know. These are some of the things I'm looking at. Some of the expenses I might have. The biggest one is going to be some of the renovations on the house. But trying to get a hold of an engineer, that's one of the difficult things here. It's like, how can I? It's like people don't want business. You know, everybody I want to go see, they're not available. I'm like, how do you get business? I'm like begging people to call me back so I can give them my money for something. You know, like this chair, the lazy boy. I'm begging, I'm like driving around for 3 hours for the last 3 days, trying to find her, and the shop is closed and they moved and there's no sign to tell you that. And now this engineer, I wrote him twice. I stopped by twice. He's not there. I leave a message. The girl doesn't seem to care. The receptionist that I stopped by, she doesn't take my number. She just gives me this card. I've written them on both their emails. I tried calling them, no answer. It's just really weird. And he's like pretty much, from what I understand, the best game in town. So maybe it's just too busy for more work. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I need to be looking at. And I wanted to do that while I'm here because I want I want to know what we're doing as soon as we come back. And I know some of it might not be totally clear. I mean, there's not going to be any rush. Initially, I'm going to delay the car as much as possible. I'm just going to delay that as much as possible because the longer my money stays in the market, the better we are in the long term. But yeah, I'll stop there. This probably got very long. This might be a chronicle in and of itself. So I'm not sure about tomorrow. I'm going to be busy with the funeral. If I can take some video and add it here with respectful. If I see other people doing it, I might add it on, but I'll be very respectful about it. If not, this might be my last video. And if so, this is Choice at Winding Down Chronicles of an Expat going into early retirement. I'm not retired yet, but I'm getting there, and I've been officially given my notice. I've got 5 months left. Tomorrow will be the end of week 22. And yeah, week 22. Yeah, I think it's week 22. So everybody, take care. God bless. Thank you for listening to my ramblings, and take it slow.